How's it going, man?
What's up, man?
1 second, I'm getting all this. There we go. I'm running late here. So Tuesday nights we have Taekwondo, and they had testing tonight, and
Oh, nice.
everybody was a little bit late. So we quick hustled home, and we made it almost just in time.
No worries, man.
All right. Well, I'm gonna get all this stuff set up here.
Well, that was a great old photo.
You got some more facial hair. Bigger beard than that picture.
Yep.
Ah. I was telling you earlier that our temperatures and everything are starting to drop,
Yeah.
and the wind's picking up, and in probably another 4 hours or so, we're going to be. Right now, I think it was like 50 something. Another 4 hours, we'll be pushing 20s, and then by the morning, teens and snow, and we've got a bunch of thunderstorms and like
Huh.
lightning and stuff down to the south, tornadoes. It's crazy.
Wow. Yeah, we're gonna be almost touching 80 tomorrow. And
Unreal.
yep. Yeah, so we'll finally get into some warmer weather, which is great.
Where are you guys typically at this time of year?
With water temps, or
Yeah,
like where
yeah.
we're
So,
fishing at.
I mean, like just in natural. I mean, what are typical temps for beginning of March?
Usually we're hovering around the 70s, mid 70s, and up. This year, I mean, our water temps have been in the 60s since about December. And it's been going up and down from low 60s to high 60s. But once we start cracking that 70, that's when the fish start to be happy. At least our snooks start to bite, the redfish start getting good and active, and everything starts getting good.
Nice, nice. All right. So guys are starting to join in here. All right. So I guess we can just kind of start rolling. I know more people hop on. I never really started it that early for people to see. So I'm sure some people got turned off and went away. Hopefully they're starting to come back. All right. So I guess we'll just again Tuesday night we're live in the boathouse. We've got Captain
I
Justin
lost the
from.
audio.
Uh-oh, can you hear me?
Hold on a second here.
Can everybody hear me? Okay. Bob, can you hear me? Everybody can hear me. Okay, so we're just waiting. Here, we'll try.
All right, I'm back.
All right, we'll get rid of one and start another one. All right, now I think he's back. Um, so we're just getting to talking. We've got Captain Justin he's down by Punta Gorda. Justin, what brought you down to Florida? And I guess tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do, and we'll get into some questions and some chat here.
Sounds good, man. Well, I was born down in Miami, and then my folks they moved up here to Port Charlotte, Punta Gorda area when I was about 6 months old. So basically, been born and raised here, and been fishing these waters for going on pushing about 35 years. And it's been a good run over here. We've been lucky and blessed. And
Nice.
I've been fishing with my dad for numerous years, and then finally, took the leap of faith probably about 10 years ago, 12 years ago, and got into chartering and got into guiding. And it's a long, slow road, but once you get rolling, it's pretty good, man. I can't complain.
Yeah, I mean it's a lifestyle, right? I mean, I've
Yep,
been doing it now 23, 24 years. And it's just when it's in your blood, you can't get out of it. It's impossible. Short
yep,
of,
yep.
dying.
Pretty much, man. Like I say, it's a good time, especially when you see the people, the customers happy, having a great time. That's what it's all about.
Absolutely. So now you're in the Punta Gorda, Port Charlotte area. I guess tell some people whereabouts that is.
That is in Charlotte Harbor, which is our big, kind of our well-known spot is Boca Grande, which is the tarpon capital of the world. Which that season's coming here in the next few months. We're getting gearing up for that. But we're kind of world renowned for the Boca Grande for the tarpon fishing, but also we've got a very good estuary up inside the harbor, which we've got mangrove shorelines for miles. We've got broken islands with shallow waters and just a beautiful fishery that it's a little special gem that not a whole lot of people know about. I mean, people are finding out about it because our town is growing, but it's a great place to fish.
Uh, I've been down there for the tarpon. I mean, that place is
Yeah.
incredible for tarpon. But I mean, literally, what else is there? What else can you guys do?
Oh man, we got snook fishing. We got nighttime fishing for snook and tarpon here in the summertime. We got redfish. We got trout. We got pompano. We've got some triple tail. We've got some cobia. We've got pretty much everything. We've got a good mix of fish. We got some fish that show up seasonally. Like right now, our cobia are starting to poke their heads in, which is pretty nice when we can find those guys because we get to sight fish them on the sandbars, which is pretty cool. So you're cruising along, and I've got a tower boat that I run, so I'm running, and I can see them up on the shallows, and spot them, cast the bait at them, watch them hit it, and then watch them scream off. Which it's a fun time of year right now. And
Nice.
like I said, our flats fishing is just it's by far. I mean, we got a beautiful area, and a lot of untouched area, which is nice.
So somebody wants to go out. We've got spring break coming. Obviously, a lot of people are going to be, heading to Florida here for spring break. I know the tarpon season, like you were saying, just kind of starts right around that early March, if I remember right.
It's
And
usually about mid-April
okay,
is when it kind of
what?
gets kicking.
Okay, and then how long? I mean, how long into the season, into spring, are the seasons, and what's the best fishing? What's the best time of the year? I guess for guys to come down there.
I'll tell you what. Right now, it's getting to be my favorite time of the year to fish is the spring. I like the spring and fall bites. We've got a lot of bigger, like our bigger snook, some of the bigger redfish. A lot of our bigger fish are coming out of their winter homes, so to speak, and they're starting to feed. So it's basically kind of like our spring feeds on. Everything's getting ready, especially our snook. They're eating, getting ready to spawn. The redfish, they're coming in good. It's getting to be their time of the year. And then the trout fishing's been really good right now. The bigger fish are starting to eat. Um, it's just a great fishery. Then we got sheep's head going on right now, so we got a lot of stuff.
And for somebody that's never been saltwater fishing, I guess explain a day. What's a day gonna entail for somebody?
Well, I've already usually before I come get you guys, I've already caught your bait or a hard scaled sardine. That's what we use for bait right now for as a live bait. And then I come pick you guys up at the dock. We go out, we take off, we hit the first spot, and hopefully the fish are biting.
And for you guys,
My famous lines is for everybody is, what are we going to catch? And I've always said, whatever's going to bite this bait, that's what we're going to catch.
that's the crazy thing about saltwater fishing is you never know.
Very true, man. In the pilchards, pretty much everything wants to eat it. It's basically a candy bar for them out for all the fish out there. It's what they want.
Yep. And then how many hours are you doing? 4 hour
I do,
trips?
yeah, I do 4, 6, 8. I kind of do whatever the customer is kind of up for. And I take people from the serious hardcore one guy angler for 8 hours to a family of 4 with 2 kids for a 4 hour. I'm very easygoing. I mean, I got plenty of patience, and like I say, I mean, I can take anybody. I'm good with all skill sets.
Nice. Spinning gear mainly
Yeah,
using, okay.
yeah, mostly
Any,
spinning gear, using like 3,000, 4,000 size reels. Um, I know it's a little different from everybody, and we don't hold them upside down. We hold them right side, facing down. That's our one joke. but it's cool.
Oh, we
Mostly
get a
all
few of
spinning
those.
gear, light tackle. We use like for me, like I use custom Reaper rods, which is the custom rod guys down here in They're in Punta Gorda, and I use pretty much Penn. I use Penn reels, so got good quality gear.
Nice. Any fly fishing at all?
There is some fly fishing. I do that from time to time. I've been dabbling in it myself on my spare time. I mean, you just got to know it's a lot of in salt water. It's a different animal. It's a lot of work. You put a lot of work in for one fish. I mean, I can be like the purist. Kind of let you slide up in there and be real stealthy, or I can sit there and chum with live bait and let you rip a fly through there and hope it gets drilled.
Sure.
Yeah, I mean, like if the situation allows it, I definitely am all for fly fishing. And if they want to do a strictly fly fishing deal, we can do that as well.
All right, that sounds good. Um, and if somebody wants to, let's say, specifically target snook, or I mean, do you go and do any reef fishing at all?
For our coast, the reef fishing, we're kind of limited. For us, we're allowed to go 9 miles offshore here for our licenses, and then once you go further, that's when you step up to where you got the guys that have the federal permits that are offshore. And our fishing grounds at about 9 miles is about 30 feet. And to
Okay.
hit that 100-foot mark, which is kind of where a lot of the charter boats go, that's about 40 to 50 miles out. So it's
Okay.
like, I mean, for me, I'll do some near shore, like sheep's head fishing kind of this time of the year, which is kind of like your meat haul fish. If you want to go and, try to get some meat, would be the sheep's head, which it's a different fish than what you guys got up there.
Right.
I know it's up in the Great Lakes. Ours is kind of, we call them a convict fish, and they actually got human-like teeth. They're
Yep.
kind of a cool
They
fish
got
to
a
see.
smile like
Yeah,
a human.
yeah. So it's a pretty cool. And like I said, we do some of that, but like I said, the far offshore, as far as your snapper and grouper, I would your best bet's to hire the guy that does it every day, the offshore stuff. I'm mostly the inshore guy, chasing the tarpon when they're in, doing your inshore red snook, and then like I said, the near shore stuff for sheep's head. And don't get me wrong, you do some of the near shore stuff within the 9 miles this time of year. You can catch a keeper grouper and some snapper, but it's a lot of weather, wind, it's wind predicting, or I should say, we got a lot of wind right now. It's been a crazy weather for winter for us this year.
Yeah, you and us both.
Yeah.
I think the whole
It's
U.S.
been
is
kind of
just,
polar opposites where you guys have been warm and we've been relatively cold the whole year. So,
yeah, yeah. And you know what? That's exactly what they said was going to happen, though, and they
yeah,
were
they called it.
spot on this year. Hopefully, we get back to normal, and you guys can be warm, and we can stay cold. I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
If we want to get warm, we'll come down and visit you.
That's right, man. That's right.
So going back to the snook thing. That's one thing yet that I haven't done. I know and I've studied a lot. It's kind of like the walleye of the sea, from what I've been told,
Pretty
and
much.
they fish kind of the same too. Is that correct?
Yeah. Yeah. They're an aggressive fish. They're a ambusher. So your same kind of techniques, fishing up against the shoreline or a drift edge or something, anything that could give them an advantage where prey is going to come to them. And see, like for us, we got tide flow. So we got when the tide's coming in, the water's flowing in, so the fish and the snook they can sit. They're one of the few fish that they can just sit and they can still breathe. So they'll sit there with their nose to the current and basically eyes kind of on. They're a little more top mounted eyes, and as soon as they see something they want coming over top, boom, they pop. And
That
the night fishing for them is good too. They're a structure oriented fish, so like they'll be at bridges, docks, pilings. We've got a really, really good snook fishery that a lot of us guides here we do our best to protect it. I mean, it's one of our prized possessions here we got in Southwest Florida. I mean, it truly is. They're a fun acrobatic fish, and they can range from 15 inches up to 42 to 45 inches. You know what I mean? Really, really big trophy fish.
that's
And
awesome.
yeah, and we're finally, like I said, we're just about it out of the last every day now. I pulled a snook that's at least 32 to 36 inches on a trip every day so far here in the last couple of days since we've been warming up. So like I say, it's we got things are happening. The warmth is coming.
Nice.
Yeah.
Do you guys like to eat those?
That's our that snook is a very good eating fish, but primarily most of us guys we do not harvest them, man. We protect those fish because we've had we battle with red tide. We have a lot of issues that are out of all of our control, and if us guys targeted those fish, we could really put a hurting on them.
Sure.
I mean, and it's the fish that we make our money on,
Yep.
and
I know.
I know
Up
people
by
kind of are always up in the arms about, oh, I want to eat it. I hear you, but if you want to eat a snook, you're gonna have to end the season, and the season's fixing to open up in March, and I know I'm fixing to get flooded with phone calls with guys that oh, I want to come eat a snook, and hey, I turn away them every year. Sorry, man, I'm not your guy. I don't harvest those fish because those fish have to fit in a 33 to, or I'm sorry, they got to be bigger than 27. They can't be bigger than 33.
okay, so they got
So
a
it's a
slot.
5-inch window they got to fit in, which is if you put all that time and effort into catching that fish into that slot, you're wasting, in my opinion, you're wasting a lot of time.
Sure.
On your charter. And I'd rather let's just go out and catch fish, especially for the snook, because they're a fun fish. And like I said, it's one of Southwest Florida's jewels that we've got. And we do, like I say, majority of us guys down here are kind of a no kill on the snook for sure. Which is, I
Okay.
know people are going to be kind of like, what? But it's, we got to protect what we got.
Yeah,
It's
it's no different than anything else when you got a trophy fishery like that and a specialized species.
and their residents. That's the one thing. Like I try to because I've talked definitely to all my customers about it and inform them of why I do what I do and why I don't harvest them. And most people can come away with that and understand. Because they're a resident fish. So like if I got a spot that's holding fish that are all in that slot size. I take 10 customers in there and pull those 10 fish out of there. I got nothing. Those
Yep.
fish are gone. They're out of the pool, so to speak. And I know it sounds crazy, but it's a big area, but the fish they're not everywhere. They're in certain areas, so it's a very delicate fishery on them, but they are very good to eat. I will tell you that.
Okay.
I've
So
had them in my previous days. Like I said, I probably haven't harvested one in probably over 7 years, to be honest with you.
sure.
Just yep,
So where I've done a lot of my fishing down in Florida has been in the Tampa Clearwater area.
okay,
Have a lot of friends from the 13 fishing group and
yep.
some family that lives down there, and I've been out with those guys a few times. And I know they always, Jose was always notorious for going out and chasing them in the kayak at night around the
Yeah, oh
docks.
yeah,
They've done
oh yeah.
pilings and stuff by docks and that. And always wanted to go try it.
I will tell you the nighttime because we fish the dock lights. So like we've got people that basically they put green lights in the water, and if they're so their docks are lit up underneath, and the snook just stack on them. You can pull up to the light, and there'll be 50 snooks sitting there. It's
That's awesome.
yeah, it's some pretty cool stuff. And like you say, it's throwing live bait. So like you can throw a live bait, way past them, reel it on the top of the water, right across them, and then just stop it. And usually, as soon as you stop it, one of them's just gonna absolutely annihilate it. It's a fun fishery at night, especially for snook, man. It's cool. And usually you do get some bigger fish too at nighttime. It's
Cool. Now,
cool.
do
It's
you
it's
run
a
any
blast.
nighttime charters?
I do from time to time. It's to be honest with you, it's kind of on how busy I am. If I'm going to do a night one, because I usually fish till about 1 o'clock in the morning, something like that, and then it's hard to, jump back up the next day at 5 o'clock to go run another day's worth of charters. So,
Oh,
but
come
I
on.
definitely, yeah, I don't trust me. I'll make it happen, but it's a fun time for sure.
That's awesome. Yeah,
Yeah.
and for people that really don't know what a schnook is, let me see if I can find a picture here. They, well, that picture that you had, you were holding one, weren't you?
Well, the picture
Or
that you
was that a
posted,
red?
that's a
No, that's a
redfish
red.
there. Yeah.
Yep.
Um,
But,
I say I just posted some stuff today up on my up on Facebook with some of the stuff we've been catching here the last couple of days,
let's see here. We'll
and
see if
that's
we can
high.
find a picture.
It'd be high tide.
So there's one. We'll take this picture here. Now, when you guys are fishing these, are you throwing live bait or can you throw artificials?
You can catch snook artificials. You can me mostly. I fish live bait. I'm a live bait charter for the most part. Unless
Okay,
you're a serious angler. Um, right there, and Eric had that's right there's one of my good customers, Eric. That's his new girlfriend there. She actually caught the fish. He had to hold it for the picture.
sure.
So she had the biggest fish of the day, so she got to rub it in.
So when you look at, for people that have never gone and done any saltwater fishing, I don't care
Yeah,
if you're in brackish water or, near shore, offshore, it does not matter. If you catch a fish that's 10 inches long, you're in for a fight of your life. So,
yeah.
I've never
Our
caught a
fish
snook
fight.
yet.
Yeah, yeah. They're powerful. They're acrobatic, so they jump. So they're a fun fish. Like I say, they're an awesome fish to catch. And then when you hook into a big one, and that big old sucker comes out of the water, it's a sight to see. That's all I can say. And they got a big bucket mouth, kind of what we call them. So basically, it's like a big largemouth bass mouth. So there's no teeth in them. So their mouth's more of a grabber. So it's more of a hard sandpaper. So when they hit something, they hold it.
Sure.
So like I said,
So, and
I'd say, go
they
ahead.
have a mouth kind of like a tarpon, how they suck in the water and grab something off the top for the most part, don't they?
Right, a tarpon is more. Their mouth is probably more geared, more upward. A snook's mouth is more like a bass. I would say it's more of a up but out also. I guess is
Okay.
the easiest way to put it.
I know when I've done some topwater stuff for tarpon, I mean you're ripping some baits across the water and you just see the water sink.
Yeah,
Those
yeah,
fish open their mouths and all of a sudden there's like a hole in the surface of the
that's
water
that's a
and
fact.
those fish just open up their mouth and man, it's insane.
It's over. Get ready for, and especially with the tarpon. Usually, as soon as you hook, up in the air they go. So
Yeah, that's by far one of the funnest fish I think I've ever caught. Next to, we did some king fishing down there, and
okay,
the first time I ever caught a king, well, I can't say I never landed it. It came, it hit our bait, and we brought the bait in, and it looked like something out of a cartoon, right? I don't remember what we were using for bait. It was, pretty decent sized bait fish, but when we brought it in, it was literally like jagged, like just
yeah.
clamped down and there was nothing left of it.
They've got a serious mouth of teeth. They're I mean they're very they can be a dangerous fish, especially if you're not familiar with handling some of the fish we got. They can definitely put a hurting on you, especially if you get them in the boat and they just go berserk. You know what I mean? He's got a mouthful of razor blades going crazy.
Sure. Well, let's. What do you have open right now? What's going on the next couple months? How do guys get a hold of you?
You
I know
I
rates.
basically for me like a half day, so a 4 hour trip for up to three guys is $500, and then a 6 hour trip is seven, and then an 8 hour trip is nine, and then it's another $100 for if there's a fourth angler,
Okay.
and
And
then
they don't have to bring anything.
nope, they just show up down here in Florida. Myself, I carry a license that covers myself and four anglers on my boat, so you guys don't have to worry about a fishing license while you're with me. Now, if they wanted to go out and fish on their own, they need to get a visitor's license or whatever, and you can get
Sure.
all that stuff easily on the FWC app. I mean, everything now is all on your smartphone, so there's no excuse not to have it.
Yep. Yeah, I
So,
wish
and then
Wisconsin would do that for us too. Have a guide's license that would cover four anglers in the boat versus having to get these guys 1 day licenses or whatnot. It would just make things so much easier.
yeah, it is a plus. It's a good thing. Like I say, it definitely helps. It makes it easier for you guys coming down. It's one less thing you got to worry about. And like I say, basically everybody they just need to show up with something to eat or drink for the trip that we're out. And I've got a big cooler on the boat that you put your stuff in. If you want to bring a cooler, always a soft sided cooler is always good. And then also the biggest thing is the sunblocks. They got
Yes.
no more spray sunblock. You
Yep.
got it. You got to rub it in. Because I
Yeah,
think I
and
tell them, I said you get 20% of it on you, and then the other 80%'s all over my deck, and then my deck turns orange.
Yep. Yeah, I think that's going to be a mandatory rule in my boat going forward. I had a guy that he didn't care whether it was sunscreen or bug spray. He'd just spray it everywhere, and next thing you know, it's etching the side of
Yeah.
my boat and the fiberglass and the plastic, and you can't ever get that stuff off.
Nope.
So
And it's not good for most of them. Most of the sprays are not. They
well,
have that
the
propellants in them.
CFCs, yeah,
It's not very good for the water, whether it's salt or fresh water.
yep. Well, very good. And,
And
we've
then
got your
they got my website, so they can go there to you can there's a link on there to send me a message. You can reach out to call me 941-815-1605. Facebook, Instagram, High Tide Charters. There's a YouTube channel, High Tide Charters. Pretty much any way you could try to find me, I'm pretty easy guy to find.
Sounds good. Well, Jared and I are gonna have to come down, and you're gonna have to take us and go catch some fish, and I'll bring
I've
all
been
my
waiting.
camera gear, and we'll get some epic footage.
Hey, we can do it, and I will put you on a nighttime trip.
That would be fun.
There, I'll break out the nighttime gear out of retirement for you.
Oh, we just got to get Jared to
commit.
figure out when he can commit and come on down. So, how long will that season go?
Which one are you talking about? Which season?
The snook fishing. When's in general, how late into the summer, do you really do good out on without having to wake up at the ass crack of dawn and only fish until that nasty sun comes out down there?
To be honest with you, man, our snook fishery kind of stays rolling all summer, man. It's the good time of the year for them. A lot of the bigger fish are going to move out to the beaches and spawn, so you can target them out there off the beaches, which is kind of a fun thing where you're sight fishing them, in the clear water. Inland, inside the mangroves, it's going to be some of the smaller fish. A lot of the bigger, mature breeding fish will be out at the beach, and then kind of the wintertime, because like our snook, they like it 75 degrees and up. They're a warm water fish. So like when our temperature down in the 60s, they kind of go, in my opinion, like a little hibernation where they're not doing much. If you get one to eat, basically that bait sat right in front of his face and he just had to breathe it in. So like I said, now that I'd say to be honest with you, from about today on, it's the snook fishing should just start firing off and just be really hot, probably, I would say, for another month and a half, 2 months, and then it'll chill down. Basically, that spring feed will be over, and then it'll just be kind of like a normal fishing, so to speak. But our snook are here year round. Our redfish are here year round. The trout are here year round. So a lot of our fishing is we're fortunate. We fish year round, and our fishing's pretty good year round. So like I say, we're blessed,
nice.
Man.
Well, one of these years, the wife and I are figuring out where we want to retire to, and it's got to be someplace where I can fish year round. So I may be joining you down there.
Hey, it's a pretty special little place down here, man.
Very good. Well, cool, guys. I appreciate you joining, man. And if you have any questions, please reach out to Justin or myself, and we'll get you in touch with them. But if you're looking to get down and do some spring fishing here in Florida, or all summer long, if you're down there visiting, give him a call or look him up, and he will get you on some fish.
That's a fact, man.
Cool, brother. Well, cheers, man. And
yes, sir. Thank you guys for having me on, and I appreciate you guys.
Yeah, have fun fishing. Good luck, man. We'll keep watching the Facebook for some pictures.
Sounds good, man. Thank you, Troy.
All right, cheers.
See you, man.
All right, that was Captain Justin from down in Punta Gorda, Florida. Kind of wish we'd probably be there tomorrow versus here, although the wind's picking up and the storms and stuff are starting to hit southern Wisconsin, and that front's coming right behind us, or behind all that weather, and it's going to get crazy here pretty soon. Just driving home from Taekwondo, it was blowing the truck all over the place. So weather's going to change again here in Wisconsin. We're going to be in the 60s here again on the weekend, but tomorrow and tonight we're going to deal with some snow, some wind chills, and just crap. um, so that being said, I'm pretty certain after today, my pond went out today. A lot of that ice you could watch it as the day went on, just kind of crumble and just ended up sinking. So I can't imagine Winnebago with this wind. I think there's probably going to be some pretty big shoves someplace. It'll be interesting to see what it looks like in the morning, and might have to go take some pictures or some drone video and see what kind of damage, if anything, was done. It's crazy windy out there right now. The reports we got, we've spent a few days kind of driving around on the system. If anybody didn't see that video, last video, we were talking about stingers, how we kind of utilize the stingers to hold the minnows on, and the different types of stingers that are out there. But there are some clips in there showing some of the shorelines and areas north of Fremont. It's absolutely amazing how low this water has gotten. And just checking out certain areas, we were finding rock bars that were like wing dams that I never knew existed. So we did a lot of marking on the GPS and taking notes of some different areas to check out once the water, or if the water decides to finally come back up. But a lot of fish in the river right now. Problem is they're all 12 inchers. We're occasionally we're picking up one or two females here and there, some fish moving up, but there's just not a lot of current for them to draw and get sucked up into the rivers right now. The Fox River in Omro has a lot of small fish in it, all the way up to the Eureka Dam. A lot of those 8 to 10, 11 inchers. I mean, just small little guys. And then in the Wolf, you've really got like 3 really big pods of fish that are just kind of sitting. They're not really moving. They haven't, I don't think, since last winter, or last fall, I should say. They've been in the same spots we were getting them before we, started ice fishing. So, everything down by, the mouth of the Rat, down below the islands, and then some of those deeper holes down there seems to be holding a lot of fish. And we, you can go out there, you can have a lot of fun catching them. You might get a few that are going to push that 14, 15 inch range. Certain days kind of seem to be a little bit better than others. One of the things that we've been doing well with is just 3 ways, real small egg sinkers. I think we're using like 1/4 ounce or 1/8 ounce egg sinkers. You don't need much weight, and just a lead, with a plain, either a small treble hook or a small gold Aberdeen with a green bead, or some sort of bead up above the hook, and just hooking the minnow through the eyeballs and casting it out. I like to cast kind of side current and then let the current, whatever little current's there, and as you're working it back, let it kind of drift down below the boat, and just real slow drag those minnows along the bottom. And it isn't so much even a hit. It's more just all of a sudden there'll be weight there. Again, water temperature is cold, not a whole lot of current, and there's there's fish to be caught. You got to weed through them if you really want to try and pick some out of there. But that'll change as we get some rain here and start getting a little bit of current. More and more fish will start getting pulled up, and the bigger fish will obviously start to come. Hopefully, that's we're all hoping. The Fox River in Oshkosh, I haven't made it there to check on that recently. I'd like to put the boat in there and just go do some scanning. I actually dropped the boat off at Sportomotive here, just to have a couple things done before we get into the heart of the season and get everything all squared away there. So probably be after the weekend. I'm sure now we have Xander's birthday party and stuff coming up this weekend, so probably won't be doing any fishing here until next week. So that being said, I know we've got some good reports from the guys that have been up in Okano. Jared took a drive up there today and actually kind of witnessed it firsthand. Just an absolute ton of people out there. It's crazy. When you get the first 70-degree day in Wisconsin, every person that owns a boat in Wisconsin and Illinois decides to show up and go put their boats in the water. It seems like every single year. And this year, they took a drive up to O'Connell, it seemed like. A lot of fun fishing up there. Now, there's some ice chunks kind of floating around, but for the most part, you can get around enough area up there to get out and fish. But um, water is really clear, and long casts, blade baits, ripping wraps. Some guys are using some hair jigs, but seems like the guys that are doing the best are running blade baits or ripping wraps. Just because I think you can cast them a lot further away from the boat, and just to get away from with how clear the water is, just to get yourself away from the boat. So if you are heading up there, keep that in mind. So a couple of questions I got for you guys is, if people haven't seen yet, the state of Wisconsin, and I'm working with Ben Tremmel here from the DNR. We're getting real close to pinpointing and locking down a date to have a warden come on a Tuesday night for a Q&A. I will let everybody know ahead of time, so you guys can make sure you join in and ask away. A lot of different rule changes coming about here for this upcoming fishing season starting April 1st. And one of the big ones that's kind of hit a lot of people by surprise, I knew it's been on the docket for a while, but is the 3-fish walleye limit statewide in any inland lake. And that includes, obviously, the Winnebago system's been there, but now on the Wisconsin River, Petenwell is in that as well. And they also are going to have a slot limit out on Petenwell. I believe it's 20 to 28 is going to be the slot 1/28. So, curious to see what your guys' thoughts are on all that. I think, and when I was talking to Jason Higgins here the other day, he's one of our conservation wardens, and he loves to fish and get out of there as much as any of us do. But the biggest question I have is, what's going to happen to Green Bay? You have a lot of people that come to Wisconsin to catch fish. And some of the questions that arise are, what is the daily bag limit going to be? For if you're up on Green Bay, you can catch 5 fish. If you're on Winnebago, you can catch 3 fish. And the daily bag limit says twice, or your possession limit says twice your daily bag. How do you know where you were at? And when you look at, and Jason had a great point, when you look at the, small game, whether it be ducks or squirrels, rabbits, anything like that, in the state of Wisconsin, it's always been 3 times your daily bag limit. So, to make things easier on everybody, why wouldn't they just go and do a 3 times, your daily bag limit for fish as well? You're still not going to be at what you were when the limit was 5, or you are at the limit when you go up to Green Bay. There's so many different things happening, with what's going on. But at the end of the day, you're going to force a lot of people to go to the bay and kill a lot of fish. And that's really, I think, what concerns a lot of guys is the fact that, they're going to really start harvesting fish out on the bay. And that's not going to be good. You're going to start wiping out the bay a lot quicker, I think, than what was really anticipated. The other thing that they're talking about, and I don't know how this one's going to fly or why they would even consider it, but is going to a 25 limit on white bass. That is going to put a lot of strain on the businesses on the river during the white bass run. I don't think you're going to have a whole lot of people come up and spend the money they do to catch 25 white bass. The other thing is, for however many hundreds of years they've been pulling white bass out of the system. Sure, you get a year or two here and there that the numbers seem to be down, but then they rebound and then they're overly high. So it's kind of that roller coaster ride. And the thing about white bass is they grow so darn fast and they eat so much food out of this system. You kind of have to look at it. What do you want? Do you want the numbers of white bass, or do you want walleyes and crappies and perch? It's going to be kind of a feast or famine, I think, as far as what anglers are going to want to do for this. So when the spring hearings and that come up, be sure you find out. I'll definitely post information when I find out where things are going to be. You're definitely going to want to kind of tune in and go visit some of these meetings, voice your opinion, and see what happens. And I'm just curious to see what their reasoning is on lowering it to 25. On a river system like this, and you look at all the major river systems that have had white bass, in them for years, and there's really just no such thing as a limit because they grow so fast and they grow so plentiful. They just they multiply like rabbits and they don't ever stop. So it'll be interesting. A lot of crazy things happening, and I know like the Madison chain for all my friends that are down there. That I believe is going to a 10 panfish bag limit all across the board. You're only going to be able to catch 10 fish, whether it be perch, crappies, bluegills. It doesn't matter. You're going to allow 10, and I would love to see that go statewide as well. I think that would be huge for bringing back a lot of these small fish lakes, and even on the Winnebago system or some of these bigger bodies of water. It still would be nice to see a reduced bag limit on the panfish. So a lot of crazy rule changes coming about. A lot of things I think kind of went under the radar and just kind of sneaking up, and people are surprised. But if you had been part of last year's meetings and read through all the all the proposals, all this stuff has been on there. They've been talking about it for quite some time. It's just now being implemented. So make sure you grab a rules book and read through it, especially for each county, each lake that you're on, and make sure you know what the new rules are going to be. Remember, March 31st, old license expire. You need a new one coming up here April 1st. We're a month away. But I believe the new licenses go on sale here in March. So if you want to get an early start, just to make sure, never hurts to do that. I know we're just starting out to buy new boat ramp stickers and spending the hundreds of dollars on that, which is just ridiculous for what some of these guys want for their boat landings. Even the town of Fremont, you got such low water right now. Guys could get in waders and walk out on the boat ramps and fix all the boards and nails and all the crap that's sticking out of these docks that we have to worry about for launching these boats and not wrecking our boats. Spend a couple dollars and go and fix the docks, or heck, give us the materials, and we'll go spend a day doing it just to get it so we don't have to worry about damaging things, especially with the low water. These docks are a lot more exposed than what they normally have been. And, it's going to be interesting. Travis, do they make a sticker for multiple launches? Winnebago County has one, and then there's also a tri-county. Calumet, Fond du Lac, and Winnebago also has one. I believe that's a $50 launch. That works for all the landings around Winnebago in all three counties. And then the Winnebago works for a lot of the landings on Butamore, Poygan, and Winnebago. But as far as like inland lakes go, or rivers, it's they're really, it all goes down to each municipality. Like Wapaka will have their own, Fremont will have their own, Winneconne will have their own. It used to be where Winnebago County would work in Winneconne as well, but the township took that over, and it's crazy. So yeah, Kobe, the white bass, I don't get that. I think that's just going to be a nail in the coffin for bait fish in our system. You want to watch what'll happen when you don't take out the white bass year after year after year. That's an important part of our system, is the white bass harvest. If we don't have the thousands of people coming and taking white bass out of our system every spring and fall, we wouldn't have what we have right now. I can guarantee that. I may not be a scientist or anything like that, but I do know how much they eat and how often they eat and how many there are. If you let those things overtake a Winnebago system and worry about them sitting in the rivers and feeding on walleye fry and perch fry and everything else, it'll be crazy. Just go out to the cane beds on Poigan or Butamore in the summer when all the little bluegills and crappies that are an inch and a half long and swim around the cane beds and the water's just boiling. And you go and catch a couple of these white bass and cut them open, and there's 8 to 10 bluegills in every one of their stomachs. That's just one fish. Now you do that and just let things keep multiplying. It's gonna be crazy. Can you use the Winnebago sticker for Oshkosh? No, you can't, Travis. That is City of Oshkosh has their own launches as well. So when you look at what Oshkosh has Rainbow Park. You've got Fugelberg, and you've got Menominee Park. Those are the three big ones in the city. And you've got the Bowen Street Dock as well. And then the county sticker is Asylum Bay, up by the Grunman Landing, and then down on the 24th Street boat launch south of town, south of Oshkosh. And then you've got Big Lake Butamore, the south shore of Poigan, the county landing, Boom Bay, and there's a landing way on the west end of Poigan off of Badger Road that is also part of that. And Black Wolf south of Oshkosh. So that's your Winnebago County, which pretty much covers everything that most guys do. But for us, when we fish the tournaments, we're typically launching out of Menominee, so we got to have a city sticker. And when the wind's blowing, rather than launching out in the lake, it's nice to launch at Rainbow and and fish by the bridges and not have to run real far. So for me, I end up getting Wapaka County. I get Fremont. I'll get Winneconne, City of Neenah, the Fox Crossing for Little Lake Butamore. We'll get I don't know, Winnebago County, Brown County. What are the other ones we get? I don't know. It ends up being every year is like 7 or 8 different launch stickers for me, and it's it's just crazy. We pay taxes. We shouldn't have to keep paying for all the launch fees, but whatever. It's nature of the beast, I guess. Okay, off that subject, get back to kind of what's happening here on the system. Make ice fishing great again, right, Wes? Don't need any stickers there. It would be awesome. Bob, I don't launch at Chico's just for the simple fact it's so far for all my people to go. Most of my guys are coming in from out of town, and for them to drive all the way up and around versus just stopping at the bridge right off the highway, it's just very hard for them. For me, it would be great. It'd be quicker. It's a lot quicker for me to go from my house to Chico's than it is any other place on the Wolf. But for the clients, it's so much extra driving. And the nice thing is with the bridge in Fremont, they've got the porta potties right there, and can easily if we get into some bad weather or whatnot, it's easy just to pull in underneath the bridge and hang tight for a little bit. You got all the restaurants and everything right there too, even though you got Hans and the Wolf River Lodge there by Chico's. I really, as much as I'd love to go and launch there, I pretty much everything I do in Fremont or on the Wolf is either I launch at Critters or launch in Winneconne at the fin and drive up to the mouth, or I'm launching in Fremont and driving down or up depending on where we go. So that's kind of where I spend most of my time. Bo says, would love to see a smaller panfish limit as well. With the popularity of live scope in recent years, it will end up catching up to us, I feel like. And that was our conversation with the warden the other day was, The electronics are making it very easy to pick these panfish out of these small lakes. I do it, but I'm also very careful on what we harvest. There's a lot of times that we're doing just a lot of catch and release stuff. I love catching them, don't get me wrong, but I love putting them back even more. It's not like it was 20 years ago where you went out and everything you caught you killed, and it's not that way anymore. And we got to keep policing ourselves, especially with all these electronics. Just being careful on what you take out of these lakes. I had a gentleman call me today and wants to do a big bluegill trip, and he's talking about wanting to clean some of these 9.5, 10 inchers. And I stopped him right there and I said, if that's the case, I'm not your guy. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to take anybody to a spot that they can see and catch these big fish and then go back and harvest them. Anything in my boat, 9 inches or bigger, always goes back for bluegills. I don't care. As much as I hate turning away business, I hate wrecking a fishery. One trip versus a lifetime of trips. Now maybe. Test 1, 2. Can you guys hear me again? My earbuds died. Are we back? All right, we're back and working. Sorry, guys. So yeah, just policing ourselves, and I would love to see them go and start changing the regs, and with what we have going on, if something doesn't happen, there's just too many greedy people out there that are going to overharvest these panfish, and they'll be the first ones to bitch when there's nothing left and they can't catch anything. So it really is. I don't know. It's kind of stuck between a rock and a hard place, but there's no reason for these guys. Wes, this guy too, is telling me that he's caught some 11s and stuff out on Winnebago, and boy, I don't know if I've ever seen one. I mean, I've fished that lake my entire life, and 10 and a halves, yes, but nothing ever anything bigger than that. People don't understand, and it's a broken record. I'm not going to beat a dead horse. Just putting those big bluegill back are so important to keeping a system going. And, don't be afraid to keep a 7.5 to 8 inch fish to eat. Those are the best eating ones anyway. That just my opinion. What's a fair panfish limit, Winnebago, on small lakes? I have no reason to. If the state of Wisconsin went to a 30 fish or a 3 times your daily bag limit, and then do a 10 or a 15 would be 5, 5, 5. Some of the lakes do a 5 bluegill, 5 perch, 5 crappie, or just a straight 10 fish of mix of any species. I think that'd be fair enough. And I love the 10 per species up to 25. Not having any more than not having, or Bo says not having many more of 10 per species. I could maybe suck along with that. I just don't think you need to kill 25 fish like that. I've got a pretty big family, and if we go out and catch 25 bluegills with all of us in the boat fishing, that's more than enough for a meal. I mean, that's way more than what we would typically eat for 5 of us. So to go out there and catch 25 per person, I think that's overstepping it. Again, just my opinion.
I think that'd be more than fair. And you want to eat fresh fish, have fresh fish every night. You want to get a fish fry together, go out and fish a couple days and grab a couple buddies and put a few in the freezer there, and you'd be okay. So I don't know. It's a debate for the ages. It's definitely going to come to fruition here one of these days. And I already get guys that bitch and whine about the 3 fish. I'm not going to go put my boat in the water for 3 walleyes. But yet, some of these guys will drive, 13, 14 hours to catch 5 walleyes and turn around and come back home. So, really, what do you got to bitch about? We've got such an amazing fishery in our backyard, and people just need to learn to take care of it, and it'll be fine. But going back to the white bass, we need to make sure we keep killing those things, because they would definitely overtake our system. Yeah, Bob. Well, that's why I like Flathead. 1 fish, instant fish fry. And there again, they've done a great job on protecting those big fish too. When the Bago system went into into their slot limit and the 1 fish, and I agree. 1 fish will feed our family, a few different times. And I love it. I mean, there's nothing better, I don't think, that we have that swims than a flathead, especially the belly meat of a flathead. It's as close, if not the same, as eating the halibut up in Alaska than I've ever found. It is such an amazing fish to eat. Never really knew it until met some friends, and that or some guys fishing with, and they're like, "Oh, we want to go catch flatheads." I'm like, "Yeah, I know where they live, but I don't know why you want to catch them." And then cleaned one, ate one, and now I'm pretty mad at them. But even that, I might kill 2 fish a year. That's it. I don't have to go out there and catch one and kill one every single day. Eat one, or catch one, kill one, eat one, and when it's gone, then I'll go get another one. And typically no more than 2 ever. I'd much rather just fight them and catch and release, and come back and catch them once they're over that 42-inch mark, and get some pictures and put them back. It's definitely a lot of fun. I can't wait to do more of that. Hopefully the rivers come up this summer, and I want to go sit in the boat overnight and turn on the thermocells and chase some big flats. So if anybody's interested in doing that, I know we're definitely going to be hitting up some rivers for that this summer. Let's see. We kind of touched about what's happening up on the bay. Sounds like the Fox River has been pretty slow up by De Pere. Guys catching a few fish, but I haven't heard of anything hot and heavy. Now I had last night and the night before, I did have some guys that follow me on the page send me some notes or some pictures, and they got some really big females already. And it sounds like it's been a pretty decent bite the last couple nights. So kind of crazy to see that already here. But, the water temperature's coming up. I can't imagine today that water temperature on the Wolf didn't hit 40 degrees, or, on the Fox up by Amaro, Eureka, if that didn't hit the low 40s today. Because we were pushing 40 just the other day. And, with how hot it got today, I'm sure it got pretty close. So hopefully these fish don't start spawning already. I don't think they're ready. And we know it's going to get cold again. And we don't want to see what happened last year repeat itself again this year, when all those eggs were laid and fertilized, and then you get a 15-degree temperature drop and everything dies on us. So we definitely can't afford to have 2 bad years in a row. Hopefully Mother Nature starts leaking and we get some water in these marshes. But I guess worst case scenario, probably for the better, to even have to risk, the marshes having water and drying up or whatnot, is maybe the best thing is for these fish just to spawn in the river and in the lake, and just go with it. Let it happen. And I think we'd probably have a better success rate with that than if these fish try to get up into the marshes, or if we just get barely enough rain and it drops again. It's too much of a gamble, I think. Other than that, that's what I have. I thank Justin for joining us, and we'll get the boys on. I say once the DNR gets back to me, we'll get somebody on from there, and then we'll probably start getting a couple of the elite guys on to talk about the Bassmaster Classic coming up here in March, and looking forward to heading down there and seeing that live. Should be a great time. We've got 4 local guys, or 4 Northerners that I know. We got Josh Wiesner, we've got Gussie, Adam Rasmussen, and Jay Shakurit, all in the Classic this year, and it's going to be fun to watch. I know it's a big party. I know they've got the big sports show. Thorne Brothers, one of our customers, will be down there with a booth. Seagar's down there. Pretty much everybody in the fishing industry's got a booth down there. It's kind of like miniature ICAST for the most part. There'll be a lot of new products being released from certain companies, and there's some cool stuff coming out from Seagar. So stay tuned, and can't wait to show you guys what's happening down there. Boat show, we were at the Oshkosh Boat Show this past weekend. That was pretty good. It sounds like some guys were buying some boats, which was good to see. My friends over at Sportamotive sound like they had a great show. And even though the boat sales have kind of slowed down with the economy, still sounds like they had a good time and sold some boats. So if anybody's looking, they've got some great deals. The prices of boats have come down a lot, even on new boats. Talking to Quinn and BJ, Nitro has actually lowered the prices, the sticker prices of their boats up to like $6,000 on some models. So it hurts guys like us that are sitting on, a 1-year-old boat that want to sell things, because now prices are going to drop, and it'll be a little bit easier to get into them. But I think you're going to see a slowdown here in boat sales for a little bit, until the interest rates and that start coming down. Let's see. Hoping Mother Nature does anything you want is like hoping your wife will pick a place to eat when you ask what she wants. I hope my wife is watching that. A lot of truth to that, Bob. That is for certain. Oh, crazy. Let's see. Time flies. I've got some interesting things in the works with some different companies here I'm working on. I'll be able to share more info or information here once I find out more. Just in the middle of tying some flies and tying some hair jigs and getting some jigs and stuff made, and just kind of preparing for, once everything hits the fan, we'll be on the water as pretty much every day moving forward. So can't come soon enough. I'm just a little concerned on what's going to happen time frame. You have everybody scheduled out through the year, and if everything happens here a month early, who knows? This is all uncharted territory, I think, for a lot of us. Are the fish going to go by water temperature? Are they going to go by season, the time of the day, or how much sunlight's during the day? Just all these things that we'll, I guess, answer as we go forward. So crazy times. Let's see. What else am I missing, guys? What do you guys have? Do you have any reports? Have you guys been out? What are you seeing? Water levels, other parts of the state, is water low pretty much everywhere? Or are we just the only ones here up on the Winnebago system kind of dying? I know how dry it is. The other thing we got to worry about too right now is fires, wildfires. The sirens and that out by us today were going crazy. Fire trucks and smoke plumes and stuff everywhere. Sounds like there's going to be quite a few of them. So just, be smart, be safe. Don't be doing any campfires or burning any brush piles or anything right now. one little spark, and you could ignite an entire 3 people drop trailers at Gills today, super low. Yeah, that's a great point. I was had a guy message me over by Triangle Farms, and I think he put some pictures up too. They were launching boats, and I guess the water's so low that some of the washout from the boat ramps are creating hazards in the middle of the river. So if you're approaching some of these boat ramps, just keep in mind you're going to have washout holes at the end of these pads. So as you're backing your boats in, be careful that you don't back them in too far, because if you drop a tire or an axle off of these ramps with your boat on it, you're going to do some damage. And I'm telling you, it's not fun to try and get one of these things up. When you're on the backside of these blocks, because you look at some of these boat ramps, and it happened out here by us in Washera County too, on some of these small lakes. With how low the water is here, they had to come and take big chunk rock and dump it off and extend the boat ramps out further, just for guys to be able to get their boats off, because they pour these pads out, and it's a square block, and at the end of that pad, it typically, from guys power loading, there's a big hole, and when you back your wheels off of that, there's nothing there. It's a giant hole, and with all that weight on your boat, on your trailer, as that thing hits the back of that pad, if it drops down, it's smashing. And I can guarantee fenders, axles, I've seen axles break, I've seen fenders shatter, I've seen all kinds of damage, when that kind of stuff happens. So just be very, very careful, and take it easy at the ramps right now. Let's see. Wes says, Vilas County, 8 to 10 inches of ice, cold front made fishing pretty crappy. Trucks were still on Lake Tomahawk. That's insane, man. To go from one side of the state to the other side of the state is, full winter to darn near summer. It's crazy. And talking to or looking at what Kurt was saying up in by Minocqua too, is, some of their best ice fishing is happening right now. Their ice is in great shape. There's no snow anywhere, so it's easy to travel around. So if guys are still wanting to get out and do some ice fishing, boy, don't wait too much longer, because, now that these days are getting longer, any bit of ice up north will probably start to diminish here pretty quick with these longer days. And looks like the extended forecast, we've got this little bit of cold spell, but after this, it looks like it gets warm and stays, at least in the 40s and low 50s for quite some time. Yeah, Bob says Chico's ramp is a little steeper and goes out a little further, and they shouldn't have any issues. Their ramp is a little bit deeper, it's a little bit newer, and you shouldn't have any issues there. So, but again, just be careful. I don't want to see anybody wrecking any boats or any trailers, or getting hurt at all just for a few fish. I think that's really it. If anybody's looking right now, I've got a couple electronics I'm looking to get rid of. I've got a brand new Helix 12 Mega Side Imaging Gen 4 in the box. I want to get that listed. I've got a brand new Altera 72-inch iPilot Link with the Mega Side and Down imaging built in. If anybody's looking for a trolling motor, shoot me a message or give me a call, work something out. And then I'll be going through a lot of my rods, and probably going to have a rummage sale, I'm guessing, here sometime this spring, just get rid of a lot of the ice fishing stuff and get rid of all the all the summer gear and stuff that's just kind of collecting dust. Now that I'm getting the boathouse pretty well put together, starting to do a lot of cleaning and reorganizing, and it's time to start dwindling the supplies. Yeah, Bob, they do have a spot that says, the ramp ends here. So don't go any further than that. Quite a few of the docks throughout the system have that. Yeah, Lund seats, if anybody's looking for some brand new of the really nice Lund seats. I've got, I think, 3 or 4 brand new ones with the adjustable pedestals, the forward and sliding. I think I've got some air ride pedestals too. I will, if anybody's looking for any of that kind of stuff, let me know. Love to get rid of it and clean out my garage a little more. Well, I'm going to leave it at that. I am going to go in, kind of relax a little bit here, and watch the news, see what the storms and stuff are doing down south. I'm out sitting in the boathouse right now, and the walls and everything else is kind of cracking. The wind must be howling outside right now. So stay safe out there, guys. And, not even March yet. Calm your jets. We'll have plenty of time to get out there and fish. It's going to be a nice long spring. Oh, for guys that are looking for 2B Elliott rods, Critters just got the full shipment in. He is a full line dealer for Elliott and 2B. He's got all the 2B, the series, the Genesis, the Elliott, and the brand new Identity series in stock. I helped them pull them out all out of the packaging and get them priced. They're on the rack, and please go take a look at those. And when you pick one up, we were talking about the St. Croix, and he was like, man, these St. Croix are really nice rods for the price. And I put a reel on one, and boop, it fell right to the ground. You do that to any one of the 2B Elliott rods, the first thing you're going to notice when you look at one of these rods is how balanced they are. And that will, when you hold one and put a reel on and hold it in your hand and feel how balanced it is, that right there should tell you what you need to know. The sensitivity and everything else is going to be amazing. But Greg does an amazing job when it comes time to designing these rods. And I don't think you're going to find a more balanced rod in the price points. The series rods in Jared's contest, I've had guys, in the boat that have had the Identity in their hand. They've had the Elliott's in their hand, the Genesis, and the price point series at $140. And at the end of the day, you'd be surprised at how many guys, like the feel and how the series for $140 fishes. I would put that up there against like an Avid, in that 200 or 220, price point for competitors for $140. So please go check them out. Tell me what you think. If you're looking in the market for some new rods, Critter's got a great selection, and he's got everything. He's got a bunch of St. Croix. He's got a bunch of the 2B Elliott stuff, some Okuma, a little bit of everything for pretty much cover a price point for everybody. Let's see what rod box works for the longer Elliott ice rods. And he says, Bob, actually 2B sells their own rod bags. They've got the XLs for the all the Evolution rods. They've got a 40, I think it's a 46 or 48 inch that works well. I don't know if they're still standing up back there or not. They've got their own rod bags. The XL rod bags got hard tubes. They've got a couple pockets. It's really nothing more than just a rod bag. So it's not real bulky. It's fairly light, but you can get 3 or 4 rods in there, no problem. And that's pretty much what I use for all my long rods. I know they sold out of them pretty much everywhere this year, just because of how popular those long rods have become. But they'll be available next year, and I know there's probably still a couple floating around. If you're dead serious on looking for one, let me know. I can probably help you find one. That's what I got, everybody. I appreciate you guys tuning in, and have a great weekend. Stay safe if the roads are crappy tomorrow, and batten down the hatches for the wind and the snow and everything tonight, I guess. And if you haven't gotten your boats out and you're looking to get anything rigged to, I'll offer the services. I've been doing it for, pretty much, probably close to 25, almost 20, almost 30 years, been rigging boats. So if that's something you guys are in need of, I've got a couple guys lined up for putting new trolling motors on and new locators. You can drop them off at the house, put them in the shop, and get everything done for you. And if you need help getting any of the product, we can even help you there too. So just FYI, if you guys are looking or know anybody that's looking, I'd gladly help. So with that, I'm going to leave you guys be, and we'll see you guys next week. And if you get out fishing, share some pictures, share some reports on what you're seeing, and we greatly appreciate it. We'll catch you guys next week. Have a good weekend, everybody.